Hey, how's it going? Today is 23rd of July, Tuesday, and we are taking a look at the market, what kind of opportunities we can find. In today's video, there's quite a few opportunities to cover, all these press releases, and what government is doing, right? So let's take a look at some of those opportunities. Starting with energy, that would be Gainsborough, step forwards to fusion energy. Something that we were taking a look at previously, as well as I was sent a newsletter. I have read the newsletter. There was some interesting projects, but I think they work on some of those projects for over 20 years. Some of the examples would be building a mechanical dog, kinda, but it's a very old concept. It's been this. I knew about this concept for perhaps for 20 years. I don't know if they managed to do it. They should make. To this point, they have perhaps they already have these dogs running around, mechanical dogs. But either way, so that way they perhaps prefaces before reading. I'm very excited about some of these projects, right? But either way, so let's take a look at this press release that was published recently today. That will be step brand launch marks transition to the next phase of pioneering programs to build prototype fusion power plant at West Burton site by 2040. So within the next 16 years. So let's try to understand it, as well as I think there should be opportunities made available for business to engage. Previously, they were taking a look at engineering company and construction company. So let's try to understand if they will try again, and try again. Since previously we didn't find enough companies to express their interest in this initiative. So let's see if this time we're gonna do it better. Since I think a lot of areas, I don't know all the details, but I think some of those areas, including intellectual property rights, have been held by just a handful of companies. And for you to do it, or for any business to do it, they would need to enter into contracts with other companies. So there's a lot of issues there, I would say. So you perhaps they would hire you for your own money to build some of those sites. Once that been said, let's take a look at this article and see what we can find. Today, Gainsborough's committee or VIPs from across the region gather at the event to showcase advancements in the future plans for STEP, the UK's prototype fusion energy plant that will be built at West Burrows in North Hampshire. Potentially, but they have a lot of plans, right? The STEP program will create thousands of jobs during the construction and will aim to build a bold new industry that will place Midlands at UK at the forefront of fusion-related energy and engineering and all commercial progress, right? Well, perhaps it should be, but again, some of those partnerships and some of those contracts, yourself, if you're interested in some of those opportunities, be careful what kind of contract they will give you. If they will give you contract that you need to enter into partnership with other governments, here you go. Why would you sign this kind of contract, right? The event 30 Art Centre in Gainsborough, Lincolnshire brought together the figures including okay. So what we're trying to do now, we're looking to build more hype about this opportunity, but again, this kind of contracts most likely it will be a waste of everyone's time, right? So I don't know if I should continue reading it and or touching on some of those perhaps initiatives. I haven't read it, but perhaps for people who are interested, they're doing a lot in the space, and you can reach out to the team and see for yourself what kind of opportunity is going to be made available, right? So new board members recently been hired or replaced, right? So perhaps things might be changing slowly, right? Let's progress to the next article. That the person to deliver new online UK's government learning platform, which is just a matter of time, as well as other governments taking a look at this area, how they can potentially reduce cost of education, right? So that will be very important, but other people are making so much money in this kind of space, so not necessarily that it would be easy thing to do. With that being said, let's take a look at this article. Person has been awarded a contract to deliver a new online platform which will provide UK's civil servants with learning and or skill development opportunities. Let's try to understand it's not a long article. After a fair and transparent procurement process, the cap. Okay, okay. So this is what they saying. I don't know. I don't know what. If this is what they're saying, I don't know why they should say it because this is how it should be done. Usually, there's a lot of issues with this statement, so I'm not supporting the statement, right? I'm just reading what's been written. What's that been said, we can continue reading. The Cabinet Office today announced that it signed a 4-year contract with Person to deliver a new cross-government skill capture and learning experience platform. The platform will bring together the first time the core learning offer for all government employees, along with the resources specific to individual departments and professions, as well as creating a single front door for all pan-government learning. The platform will enable users to create profiles to capture skills and or track complete learning. This will be used to generate personalized training recommendations based on the skills we would like to develop in the future. The entire article, as well as cost, it should be very important, and the reduction in cost. And but I'm not entirely sure if people creating these courses would be compensated adequately and all these kind of things. The data generated via platform will be all help to construct the most accurate picture ever achieved for skills available across government, supporting managers to take more strategic approach to planning or delivery equipment, developing annual talent management and initiatives. Of the 68 suppliers that expressed their interest in providing services, 5 were shortlisted to panel review, with final 3 selected to deliver procurement demonstration. Okay, so the expression of interest was 68 companies, right? 68, and out of those, there were selected 5, right? Which perhaps is great. Let's see. The structure, entire structure, perhaps not that hard. It's how well they can run tests and how well people can learn in the least amount of time, most amount of skills, and quality of those skills, right? That's just one of the many ways how to manage these services, right? Either way, let's progress to the next article. Even right now, let's take a look at the next article that the new governments have for your given plans or no green light, right? So we're looking more of the office spaces, right? Currently, there are so many office spaces on so many council books. There are so many. Since there are so many, and they're currently taking a look at building more, so it doesn't really make sense. So some of the things that sometimes councils are doing do not make sense. I'm not entirely sure if that makes sense to build more office spaces, since a lot of people I know try to check here where things are going. They not necessarily would need more office spaces. Perhaps a lot of councils are having a lot of capital and looking to invest that capital into things like assets, right, on real estate, all this kind of things. Perhaps that makes sense from this kind of point of view, but not necessarily what they are doing with the money, right? But either way, let's progress to the next article. Quickly, I was taking a look at some of press releases in Europe, so I thought let's touch on what's happening in Europe before coming back to UK. That would be setting up of AI factories. Now possible after European High Performance Computer Regulations Amendment. Perhaps there might be some business opportunities, right? That would be amendment of European High Performance Computer Regulations to set up AI factories entered into force, enabling the creation of new pillar of activities for European high-performance computers joint undertaking, right? As well as I was taking a look at something that a lot of things are happening in Poland and particularly Germany. A lot of companies are looking to invest into new factories, quote unquote, when it comes to semiconductor manufacturing. That would be some of the giants, as well as without promoting, perhaps it's better if I wouldn't say companies who are investing a lot in this particular region, but there's so many, but perhaps a lot of investments being made, as well as factors perhaps when it comes to business opportunities. Those kind of opportunities would mean a lot for Europe, right? Hopefully in a positive way. Let's come back to the UK. We can briefly take a look at water and what's happening within UK, right? Since I was taking a look at this sector, the way how it started, right? So it's entire problem have started roughly about a year or 12, perhaps 16 months ago, where we have started taking a look at this issue within France and Paris in particular because of Olympic Games. And this issue begin escalating and people begin paying more attention at this issue back then, where they were taking a look at how clean water is, and they begin testing and take a look at this issue a little bit better, to the point where the entire problem start escalating, right? And cost and all undercapitalized and all some of the CEOs and all shareholders paying themselves a lot. So I thought I will touch on it. I don't know. That's my personal understanding about the entire sector. Tougher regulations and all data shows water companies underperforming, right? Not necessarily that they're underperforming, but perhaps how money is being used, as well as they're looking to increase those fees. And if they're paying a lot to themselves, just a handful of people and or shareholders paying so much to themselves, they're looking to increase fees. What are we paying for? What are these kind of things that we're paying for? If performance that's underperforming, right? If underperforming currently is below a standard, right? When we take a look at the environmental agency has today published its annual report on the environmental performance of England's 9 water and no sewage companies during 2023. We can take a look at the entire report, but perhaps it would be too much information. Right? For perhaps these fees, all these kind of things, not necessarily would be able to capture everything, but we might touch on some of the important points. The Environmental Agency has today, 23rd of July 2024, published its annual report on the environmental performance of England's 9 water and sewage companies during 2023. The report shows the improvement in star rating on the environmental performance assessment, but the majority of companies continue to underperform. The EPA is only independent companies of environmental performance across this sector since 2011. The environmental agency has used the EPA to rate each company in England from 1 to 4 stars. Okay. So they do have a little bit of competition. So I thought it's just one company, but seems there's a number of companies, right? So it's 9 companies. So we can rate and see which company can perform better, and by in return offer better quality services for consumers and all general public. The aim of the report is highlight where improvements in water company performance is required and push for continuous improvement across the sector, as the regulator of the environmental agency constantly tightens EPA targets. This has been fundamentally in driving better performance, the need for it, right? However, current performance remains well below expectations. The year 5 water companies are rated as required improvements 2 stars. The company is rated as good 3 stars, and 3 companies achieve 4 stars, right? So I'll show this kind of data. In particular, Southwest has been rated with 2 stars. Perhaps there's some regions within Southwest who are pulling standards down, and so some of those companies are potentially lifting standards up, like Severe Turn Water, right? So where they would have 4 stars, right? So potentially we have a better picture of and all broken down, on the map how water companies performing, and within those water companies perhaps there's some businesses in those areas, and some of those businesses it's even in the news articles are being fined for massive sums of money of how they're treating water and where that water is going, right? So perhaps urgent action is required, as well as they're looking to raise more capital by increasing fees for the services, right? So perhaps entire sector needs more attention. Once that been said, let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.